Borneman, I'll use you. Prison Mike. Okay. All right, so we're gonna be doing some stuff from the underhook today, specifically looking at when they back their hips out. Because I think the biggest thing is I see people in here get to an underhook a lot, but it seems like they don't know what to do when people inevitably do this. So just back your hips. Yeah, here, right? When they start to collapse this by bringing their hips back. So the biggest thing is we won't spend a ton of time on it because I'm sure most of you guys know how to do an underhook throw by. So our general underhook position, right? I like to go collar club here. Biggest thing is I need to have my head in his ear, okay? So if I go collar club, right, I go head in the ear. My underhook, a lot of people like to do this underhook right off the rip. The problem is if he goes thigh pry, it's gonna collapse my underhook super easily, right? So just go thigh pry, down here, yeah. It just instantly takes away my underhook and people will send it and rip your shoulder out. So I like to do more of an underhook like the Iranians do. I go hand in the middle of the back, head in the ear, and then I bring my elbow up. It's like a shelf. Right, so one, if he tries to do the same thigh pry, he can't collapse my underhook, okay? And then two, it allows me to easily switch off when I want to snap to a front headlock. Okay, so there's that. And if you get with someone like Pixley, who being an underhook is probably like your worst nightmare with Pixley, if they start to try and step in front to throw you, I can just take my hand out and place it on his ribs. I can't really do that if my arm's stuck here, but as soon as he steps in front to throw, I just take my hand out and circle off his hips. So what we're gonna do to start is I want you guys just to go for like 2 or 3 minutes and just set up your underhook. So I would go either inside wrist, step, remember hand in the back, elbow up, okay? Or club, underhook opposite side. All right, let's do that for just a couple minutes. Ready, 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2. That was semi-better. Oh, I have an idea for a pose. I got a good one. We should take a picture of Borneman looking like Prison Mike, you know, from The Office. And then do it. Oh, I got it. A lot of people get an underhook all the way over like this. This is not realistic for like an underhook look. So you don't want him to be just standing straight up, but get in like a wrestling, like athletic looking stance here. Okay, so as far as just, if you get an underhook and you don't feel any resistance, the biggest thing I like to do just right off the bat is a throw by. On my single leg side, so if you're right-handed, this side's gonna be your single leg side, I go to the leg here, but on my off side, and you can do this either side. So right now we're gonna go to the body because it's more applicable to jiu-jitsu and it's really easy. I just do a throw by right to the body, okay? So I can keep this collar tie, I can put my hand over here. I like to keep the collar tie, and I just throw it by. So I take one step and then elbow to the ceiling, throw it by. The biggest thing that I see that's a problem here and why most people's throw bys suck is they go to do this throw by and they think that sticking their arm further in is more beneficial, right? It's actually a lot worse because then when I go, I'm gonna get caught on this. All he has to do is have a semi-decent overhook and there's no way I'm gonna be able to throw him by. So when we're here, it's actually, when we slide our hands out, right, he has less to hold on to. So it seems counterintuitive, but you wanna slide out a little bit when I do my throw by. Here, so just look at the difference with the eyeball test, right? My hand's further in, right? So you're just gonna get with your partner and we're gonna do a throw by to the body. Same setup, make sure you're drilling your setups every time. Okay, right, just short little throw by, here. Okay, and again, that's if you feel not a lot of resistance. If they're collapsing your underhook, if they're going hips back, that's what we're gonna work on next. A key tell is if you feel someone's hand on your back anytime, you have a throw by. Right, I know if their hands on my back, it's all day throw by. Okay, so real quick, just throw bys to the body, okay? And partner in an athletic stance, but you're not giving them, you're having an overhook, but you're not like giving them any resistance or using any strength, okay? Ready, 1, 2. A little trickery if you want to go to the leg. There's ways to do it, for sure. I think going to the body is, if you know that one, that's a great first step. But now we're gonna get into some situations where you get the underhook, and obviously, if they're a semi-decent wrestler, they're going to react, right? So if they go hips way, way, way back, we obviously have a front headlock here, and we might circle back to that at the end of class if we have enough time. I just want to make sure we get to like what I really want to show today, which is a head pinch, right? Because then you can still do your throw by, or if you want to highlight real someone at once. Okay, so my head pinch comes when I have this underhook, and it's right when his hips start to back out, right? Like if he's already like super far, like it's not impossible, but I'm gonna really have to like dig this. So you can get it when their hips are far back. Just know that you're gonna have to kind of go fight for it. So as soon as I get my underhook and I feel Jacob's hips going back, I'll start setting up my head pinch, right? Because I don't have to change the positions of my hands. So again, we're in that throw by position, collar tie, underhook. Okay, once I feel his hips back out, I'm gonna go to this S grip, just like you guys would do for passing stuff. Right here. And the big thing is, I'm thinking about putting his eyebrows right here on my chest, okay? So it's a little different because a lot of people think, okay, I want like their head on my chest, and they think about putting this part of their head on their chest. With a head pinch, I want to put his eyebrows on my chest. See the difference? Is it glues it to my chest here. Okay, now is it harder to move your head?
Yes.
Here? Okay, compared to here, he can still freely move his head. Okay, so eyebrows to the chest, here. Okay, from here, the great part is, once I have this, it isolates this shoulder. Okay, so we can still hit our same throw by, and I just keep my hands connected and move my feet. And then from here, I'm right into my seat post, going to take the back. Okay, so that's the one we're gonna drill first. Okay, so underhook, as soon as he starts to back hips out, I go S grip, and the big thing is I'm sucking him in, putting his forehead to my chest. Once I have this, all I'm doing is taking that shot put step around, leaving my hands the way they are. From here, if you like claw spirals, you can get back too, and you can just go straight there. Any questions? Yeah. Okay, so here he starts to back his hips out. Okay, from here, sucking it into my chest, eyebrows into my chest here, not the top of his head, using this S grip. And really, again, another point is you want to keep this elbow elevated, right? If he cranks this down, that's going to be their defense. You're going to lose your head pinch. So head in, keep this elbow elevated. Okay, from here, I don't have to do anything with my hands, right? Just throw by. Yes. 1, 2.
Here you go.
You need to shoot this arm through deeper. The middle, so my S grip is like right behind his neck. There. Through deeper. All right, back to it. 1, 2. Pinches, so you'll have plenty of time to work on the initial head pinch. The biggest thing I'm seeing so far is people are struggling if their forehead is here. How do I get them, or top of their head is in my chest. How do I get them so their eyebrows are in my chest, right? It's kind of, you have to bring your chest underneath them. So I bring my chest underneath his head and I roll it upwards. It's the same kind of idea, lay on your back, as, okay, I'm going to hit this Toriando and I'm going to like get my chest underneath, right? Same thing applies when we're wrestling. Okay. Same thing applies when we're wrestling, okay? If his head is in my chest and I need to get under it, I just scoop my chest under and roll it so his eyebrows are now in my chest, okay? And then I'm just going around the corner, okay? So the next thing we're going to do, and we're actually going to do this without a partner, is I'm going to show you how to throw from a head pinch, okay? So from here, if I want to throw, I'm going to set his hips to this side. I'm going to set, and I'm going to back step in, and it's just a sag headlock, okay? Obviously, you'll have to make some adjustments so you're not getting your back taken. But Fionn Davies hit this in her match at CGI. It's still a thing that you can hit in jiu-jitsu as long as you just adjust when you finish. Okay, but without a partner, we're going to do some back steps really quick. So when I back step, I take my initial step with my plant foot, and then watch this step. It rotates and comes behind. So the way we're going to practice this is you're just going to find a line, plant with your initial foot. This most of the time is going to be your dominant leg. Okay, so this is my right leg. Okay, this leg steps around and rotates till both my feet are facing this direction, here, okay? And then you're gonna add a forward roll. Here, or shoulder roll, sorry, okay? So plant foot, step, and rotate to this direction, and shoulder roll, okay? We're just gonna do that for like a minute on your own. All right, ready, 1, 2. Still attached? Just bring it to my heel. The second thing, like Joe said, you pretty much have to shake your ass a little bit, okay? So you're gonna step, I bring this to my heel, okay? And then from here, the reason I'm having you do a forward roll is because it simulates the same motion, right? Like as I do this, I am lifting my ass up. But I want you to kind of think about, as we're going here, I'm like lifting my hips as I go, okay? Because when I'm actually hitting this like in a back step, lifting my hips is what's gonna initiate the throw, okay? So we're here, bringing this to the heel, lifting my hips as I forward roll. Let's do a few more of those. 1, 2. Okay. All right, now we're gonna actually apply the back step to the throw. Okay, so everything stays the same, right? Same mechanics on setting up our head pinch. Now we're gonna circle him. We wanna circle him to the direction of the hip that we're gonna use to throw, okay? So I'm righty, I'm using this hip to throw, opposite of the underhook side, okay? So I circle him, meaning I'm gonna set his feet over here, like this, okay? Notice how this foot, this is my plant foot, it's gonna stay in the middle. Okay, so as I circle, watch this foot, it stays in the middle. So now all I have to do is bring this heel to this foot to do my sag. Okay, with the sag, the biggest mistake is like, pretty much you're just sitting down. So as I go, I'm just kind of like sitting, honestly, once I get to here. And Dro's gonna talk about, right now, just send the headlock, and then Dro's gonna talk about how to make it work for jiu-jitsu specifically. But it's just worth knowing how to send the headlock in general. So once I'm here, again, circling, but keeping this leg forward. Now I'm just back stepping in. As I go, my lock will shift from his head closer to this other elbow, okay? So as I go, yeah, so I'm thinking about setting, the most important part is setting the feet, right? So setting with this foot forward, this foot goes to the heel of the opposite foot, and just watch my lock as I go. Okay, do one full speed, just for fun. Any questions? I just did that as an excuse to throw one. So this one will be between the opposite. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So the mistake most people make with the sag is they try and bring both their hips outside here. This is not a powerful position for me. He's just going to be able to most likely get off my hips, and then I'm in a really bad spot. So that was a great question, by the way. You want to keep your hip inside of his hip line when I go. Because again, all my power comes from being able to lift him off the ground with my hips. So I can't really do that if my hips are on the outside. Okay, so I'm here, and I just, literally, I should be able to do this. Okay, and then I'm just sitting through. Make sense? Did that answer your question?
Yes, and as you shift your arms, when are you doing that?
As you're doing the throw. So after this heel goes to here, it's like this is going to go up as I'm shifting to sit through. All right, ready? 1, 2. A couple adjustments, and we'll drill it for like a few more minutes, and then Dro's going to show how to finish it jiu-jitsu-wise. So here's the things I'm seeing. And concept-wise, a sag headlock, you are going to be sitting down more. The reason I told you need to be able to lift with your hips is because, like, if you don't have your hips glued to his hips, right? So if I go and there's separation in space between my hips and his, he's going to pop his head out and this throw is not going to work. And also I have no leverage to lift him at all. Okay, so you need to have your hips connected to his hips when you do this. For a sag, you are going to sit through a little more though. So I'm essentially just going to put my butt on the inside of his hip and sit down. Okay? But here's the thing. A lot of you guys, when I say sit down or sit through, you're bringing your hips to the outside of his hip line, right? So you're going, and then we're doing this as we sit, right? That's not going to work, okay? So the reason I'm stepping him so hard to me is so I can stay within his hip line the entire time, right? Like if I circle him like I should, step here, I'm going to stay within his hip line even while I'm sitting down, right? See how my hips didn't go outside of his hips? So go back and drill it again. Keep your hips inside their hip line. Keep them connected, right? And then just sit through or sit down, whatever works for you mentally to say. All right? Let's go back to it. Ready? 1, 2.